I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Staying Salty. My name is Chelsea, and on this channel we talk about what life is like living with cystic fibrosis. Whew. And on that lovely topic, I am sick. So that is why I'm recording from my couch, wearing a shirt that I've probably worn for about 3 days, with my hair like this, wearing not only mine, but my boyfriend's pajama bottoms, and next to a Gatorade with a straw in it, because I've been too lazy to get up and actually drink my own drink. So somehow, I don't know if you all knew, but I went to Guatemala for a week. Stayed there, took a flight, took a bus, took a boat all the way to get there, spent 7 days there and did not get sick. I get home and I'm spending my week perfectly great when I got back, and then I get sick. So anyone who says travel is what gets you sick, I don't believe that. So this has been my life for the past few days, and I was kind of waiting until I got better to record this video. But then I kind of thought, what better to show what real life is like with cystic fibrosis than showing when you're really down and out from a cold, out of nowhere, that just knocks you off your feet like this has. And I don't even know the last time I showered my hair, so this is just what we're working with today. Welcome to my video. So, with all of that out of the way, clearly today we are talking about transplant, and more specifically, because that's how I've always looked at it, is lung transplant. If you don't know what I'm talking about, cystic fibrosis really affects the lungs, and it's a degenerative disease, so it gets worse over time. Slowly you lose lung function, and slowly your lungs get scarred, which they cannot heal themselves from. Imagine putting glue in a sponge and letting certain parts solidify and harden. That part you can't really get the glue out of, it's just stuck like that. So imagine slowly putting little bits of glue on a sponge so it's no longer able to squeeze and release. Same like how your lungs are, they're not able to inhale and exhale and expel air properly. So our lung function goes down. When your lung function gets a certain degree, and there's many different quality of life criteria, as well as oxygen use, and a whole bunch of different variables that go into lung transplant and whether you should be on the transplant list or not. But mostly when you get below a certain point in your lung function, the conversation of transplant starts coming up. So, a little backstory on me. I was completely healthy my entire life until I went to college, and I went to a team down in where I went to college in Tampa, and I've always been religiously doing my treatments, and when I went there, the team and I just did not see very eye to eye, and they constantly thought I did not do my treatments. They thought that I was getting sicker because I was in college and I was just being a college student, where I was getting A's and still doing my treatments and still trying to do everything as well as I could while starting to get hospitalized for the first times in my life. I'd never had a PICC line until I was 19. So it all really started in college, and the center I was at was not very equipped to handle what happened. And slowly my lung function went from 86% when I went to college to, I think the lowest that it was ever recorded, which I wouldn't even call as a recorded because I coughed the whole way through, was 26. So, and that was in a matter of 3 years. So what had happened was a lot of the IV antibiotics, they just simply weren't working, and the team that I was being seen by just simply really went by the books and what the really went by what the test said, what I was resistant to, what I wasn't resistant to, and they wouldn't give me anything other than what the test spit out, even though it wasn't working. So there was one point that I was sitting in a hospital bed at 7 in the morning, and a doctor from this team walked into my room, woke me up, and kind of sarcastically sat on the edge of my bed and said, well, you better go back up north because you're going to be needing new lungs. And that just devastated me. I'd never even heard that conversation before. I never heard that that would even be an option for me. I was so well, so well, and I was just sick at that time. And for them to say that to me, needless to say, I left that center. So I'm from the north, which is why he said that, and I was being seen by Johns Hopkins. So I went up to doctors that I had been seeing since I was about 18, and so we went to them, and oh no, I actually went to a different center before that. I went to my center in Delaware, and they said the same thing. They didn't know what to do. They couldn't figure it out, and they said, well, you might want to get evaluated for lung transplant. And I was sitting there, all these things were being thrown at my head, and I was just sitting there like, I don't even know what's happening. I'm so well, this isn't supposed to be happening. So I eventually got with a center that I trusted, that's listened to me, that really spoke to me, that informed me, that just went the whole 9 yards to help me. And now I still have my lungs. I'm at 50% lung function, which is not 86, but it ain't no 26. So the reason I say this entire story is because you know your body best. As a cystic fibrosis patient, we know our bodies better than anyone else. We live in it every day. We cough, we feel what the different drugs have effects on our body, different medications, the different antibiotics. We can feel what it feels like when something's not right. And if you're in a situation where you don't think you need to be there, like how I knew I was not at the point to get new lungs. I knew I was not done fighting, my body was not done fighting, and I knew that that was not the only result for me. And I knew that I had to be persistent, I had to look elsewhere, because I wasn't gonna get the answers that I needed where I was. So it really comes down to patient advocacy. Obviously, there are times where lung transplants are needed. I'm not saying that that's for everyone, but I'm saying if you're in your head saying, okay, I'm at peace with lung transplant, there's nothing else we can do, my body knows there's nothing else we can do, then transplant is the best decision for you. But if in your mind, in the back of your mind, you're saying, no, this doesn't feel right, there's something we haven't done, there's something, I'm not ready yet, I'm not at the point, I know I'm not. Keep fighting, keep pushing yourself, keep pushing the doctors, keep researching for yourself, educate yourself. Knowledge is the best power you can have. Speak to other people. The CF community is so vast. But never, ever, ever, ever stop advocating for yourself. Never give up. Never wave the white flag. Transplant is not a white flag. Transplant is simply saying, you know what, I'm gonna keep fighting this, and the best way I can keep fighting is getting new lungs. So never think that you're giving up. Never think that you haven't done enough. Because simply being in a position as a CF patient, you've been through enough and you are doing all that you can. But if something is not sitting right with you, listen to that intuition, listen to that gut, and really push through and get answers for yourself. Advocate for yourself and be your own doctor, essentially. If you know what they're telling you is not where you are and it's not right, maybe go get a second opinion, a third opinion, a fourth opinion. Don't stop fighting. Don't stop fighting until you can sit there and comfortably say, yes, we've done every other option. Transplant is the best option. And when you get there, I hope that you are at peace with that and know that it is not a sign of giving up, not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of the most strength to say that I am vulnerable and I need help from an external organ to be put into my body because I still want to fight and I still want to live. That is by far the by far the strongest person to make that decision. So this very heated and direct video, I just want to say that I've been in that position. If anyone ever wants to reach out, I always leave my contact information down below. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. And even if you're on the transplant list, don't give up. Every time that we think that it's not going to work out, we're creating our own reality. So the point of thinking positive thoughts is making our own reality. The more effort we put into a certain mindset, the more it's going to prosper and grow. So stop feeding any negative emotions, start feeding all the positive emotions, and it will get better. So with all of that, I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And remember that transplant isn't the same for everyone. Some people get transplanted at 29% lung function. Some people get transplanted at 3% lung function, if you can function at 3. I'm not sure. But the criteria for being on the transplant list is so different from everyone. So if you're on it and you say, oh, I'm not like other people, that's because you're your own person. Everyone is their own person. Everyone has different criteria as to when that time is for them. So feel empowered, feel as strong as you really are, because each one of us, we could take over the world if we didn't have these crappy lungs. But one day we will. So thank you all for watching, and we're actually taking a 2-week break, and next week we will be having a guest speaker, videographer. So keep an eye out for him or her, and I will look forward to seeing you later in May. So have a great beginning of your summer. Happy graduation to anyone, and remember to keep fighting and to always #stay salty, my friends. All right, bye guys.